Hello, everybody, and welcome back to episode 127 of the Everything Moto Racing podcast. That is right. If you didn't listen last week, it's because I didn't upload the podcast.
Absolute dingbat.
Idiot. We rushed around like madmen to try and get it done and all that.
Yeah, in time for the first race of the season. It's going to be it's such an hotly anticipated episode by all of our listeners. And you just didn't upload it. So
honestly, I'm so stressed out with life at the moment. It must have been like the last thing on my mind, which is not good enough for everybody who does listen to this podcast. And I am truly sorry. But hey, it's now being uploaded as we speak. So you can get a double dose of Everything Moto Racing magic.
Unreal. So if you happen to have nothing to do for the next, I don't know, two and a half hours, then, oh boy.
You're in for a show and a half.
You are in for a treat.
And you can listen to how absolutely horrifically wrong we were on the predictions.
Yes, we are dreamers. We are fools. We're ugly.
Hey,
everything, just everything. Yeah. Wait, what? What did I say?
Wait, what?
And Lauren's still not back, so it's just
It's all. And when she back from finding herself 29th of March?
Yes, end of March. Lauren will have found herself in Thailand and will be back in the United Kingdom. Or traveling back, I'm not too sure on the exact itinerary. But either, people got a month to wait before
Lauren makes her highly anticipated return.
Before Lauren, my goodness, we're hyping it up like Marc returning from injury. Do you know what I mean?
I know.
Lauren returning from
the Ducati,
returning from finding herself.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just jealous. I wish I could spend 2 or 3 months in a nice exotic part of the world and not give a toss about anything. But here I am.
Oh, it'd be great. Oh, to live with your parents again and have all that free money, eh?
Oh my goodness.
God, it'd be brilliant, wouldn't it?
Oh, he's bitter. I wasn't getting into that. Oh dear.
To be fair, honestly though, imagine how much money you could save if you lived with your parents. Why are we talking about this?
I know this is not a personal finance podcast.
It's not. If you want to go listen to a personal finance podcast, I don't know any to recommend. Sorry.
This is money. There's one I know of. But why we're still going? Come on. Anyway,
we are. Anyway,
vroom, vroom.
MotoGP is back.
Yes, it
finally
is. Under the lights of Qatar.
It was sensational.
Was it?
No, but I enjoyed it regardless.
I did. I enjoyed having
Moto 2 was actually very good.
And you know what? I'm gonna get this out of the way now. I didn't watch Moto 2 per se.
It's a racing podcast.
I know. So I had it on, and I was there, but
right.
Do you know what? So Moto 3 just happened.
Yes,
and I was still shaking. Do you know what I mean? I was still recovering, and I thought I need a break. And also Moto 2 typically is it's the dip, right? It's the scoop in the day that lets you get ready for MotoGP, in my opinion. So I wasn't going out of my way to make sure that I watched start to finish. I did catch kind of most bits and heard it all happening, but I didn't watch it. So there may be details or certain battles that happened that I'm not fully cognizant of. So apologies to you, apologies to our listeners, but I'm not sure they're really expecting quality input from me anyway.
Hey, that's why they tune in. Excuse me.
Well, you flatter me, but anyway, I just wanted to let you know.
Thanks for that.
No problem at all. Let's go.
Let's go. But yeah, so MotoGP is back. Very happy about it.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite exciting all the way through. Moto 3 had plenty of twists and tails and things that I kind of didn't really expect it to be honest, because I expected some riders. I think the common theme across the weekend, barring maybe MotoGP, is the riders we all expected to do very well completely fell flat on their faces.
Yes.
And riders we didn't even think about counting in did sincerely... I sound like Bagnaia now. Sincerely did an exceptional job.
Yeah, for the most part. I would agree. Obviously, there was Baltus. Why can't I think of any other names right now?
David Alonso did very well.
Adrian Fernandez
did a very good job. You've got... Let's have a look. Holgado obviously meant to do well. Yeah. Tyler Sato.
Yeah.
Jacob Rulstone. Vicente Perez. Yes. A lot of the rookies did really well. Obviously, Garcia did extremely well. Lopez hasn't won a race in ages.
I know.
He did very impressive. Ayagura on the Boscoscuro did very well. Isa Guevara was 4th in the race at one point. You know, but then and Zonta as well. But then riders you expected, like your Vietti, like your Fermin Aldeguer, like your Arbolino, were way back.
Way off.
Way back.
Yeah. It was really, I don't know, like, again, maybe I shouldn't feel disappointed, but I kind of almost do in a way. Like, obviously, it's really great to see these names that we didn't expect to be up at the front.
Course.
But it would have been great to see them mixing it with the names that we also expected. It would have been better racing if there were, another 2 or 3 riders up at the sharp end that we thought were going to be.
Beat what's in front of you, though, can't you?
You what?
You can only beat what's in front of you.
Well, I mean, gosh, isn't that profound? Yeah. It's, yeah, like, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens when we get to Portimao and seeing if these, these great results were flukes or whatever. Because, Qatar does typically produce something a bit left field.
Yeah, that's true.
But like the way that these riders performed, why can't it translate to Portimao?
Yeah, I think Portimao will be better for a lot of the riders because they test there. Moto2 and Moto3 test there anyway, and a lot of them will have ridden at the track for a long time. Even rookies in the class who've never even seen Qatar have been racing Portimao in the Red Bull Rookies or the Junior World Championship. So it's a track that they're all familiar with, and a lot of them will have current data on there. Like I said, Moto2 and the Moto3 have tested there. In MotoGP, I think because there's only one rookie, I think it'll be much of the same, although I'll be excited to see how Marc Marquez gets on around Portimao. Because it's a track he likes a lot more, because he doesn't really like Qatar. He's only ever won there once in MotoGP, and that was in 2014.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see, because it's a lot more left heavy. They're saying on the BT Sport commentary, because they're quite okay with his crew chief, Frankie Carcetti, that Marquez, he's okay when he turns right, but on the left, he is by far the fastest around the left-hand corners by a margin. And so Portimao will be a lot better for Marc Marquez because there's a lot better left-handed corners for him. Obviously, then we go to Kota, which is pretty much just Marquez's fortress at this point.
Yeah, it feels like a done deal, but...
Yeah, it does.
See what happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think in general, the racing will probably be better at Portimao as well.
The racing at MotoGP is never good in Portimao, I don't think.
Yeah.
Apart from the handful little battle, I always find it quite spread apart.
And, when you think about the track, it feels like that doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be the case. It feels like it should be Jerez, in my mind.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
If that's the word, stick that in the dictionary. Jerez. Yeah, we will, I think, see more of what the rest of the season will look like for riders.
Yeah.
From Portimao back at a European track, conditions, and obviously just a track that they know inside out for a lot of them. So it'll be good to see.
Yeah,
but it is nice to have these kind of potentially outlier results that we've had this weekend to
and it'll be confidence boosting for a lot of riders.
Yes, definitely.
I'm quite excited for Portimao, but this is a Qatar podcast.
That's true. That is true. Well, kinda. Are we doing one? I'm not doing one next week. Are you doing one next week?
I'm meant to be.
All right.
I need to find some people to join.
I see.
Because Cameron and Lauren are gone.
I know. I'm finding myself.
You are. Where are you finding yourself?
At Glasgow, I think. So.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
But yes, sticking with MotoGP, Francesco Bagnaia once again proved why he's a two-time MotoGP World Champion.
Yep.
With an absolutely exceptional performance. He just dominated that race.
Just couldn't lay a glove on him. I mean, he did what everybody... Like, he's got this playbook that everybody knows now because of the last... I'd say the second half of last season. This is exactly what he did. He sort of... It maybe didn't work on the Friday. The Saturday was, like, better, but he still won sprint races, but he wasn't as prolific as
like Jorge Martin,
Yeah. But it was all in pursuit of the Sunday when the big points are on offer. i.e., using your brain. You would think. And it just seems to be the Pecco playbook. That's what he does. It's just the whole weekend still builds towards the Sunday. And I think other riders and other teams have been a little bit more, not distracted by the sprint race, but it
takes your focus away, doesn't it?
Yeah, they've changed their approach so much that they're not delivering where it matters as much now, which is on the Sunday still, when there's twice as many points on offer. And obviously Pecco is making the difference as well. Yeah. But you have to think, like, why aren't the other teams also putting in this kind of effort into Sunday? But this concentration, because there seems to be a real focus from everyone else to get a fast lap time in and do a sprint simulation and make sure that we've got to be as fast as we can, if that makes sense. Whereas it's more of a slow burner into an untouchable race pace for Pecco and the factory Ducati team, and that's what won the title last year.
Yeah, it is, and Jorge Martin's very good in the sprints, as we know.
Yeah.
Sprints don't really require too much saving tyre, too much about caring about your fuel load and things like that. And Jorge Martin is able to excel in those conditions. He's always been a one-lap man, even when he's in Moto3. And I'm not surprised to see him on the podium. I would like to see him trying to contest for more victories in that kind of side of things, because he's very good on a Saturday. He's won 10 sprint races now. But he lost the title last year because he just didn't win enough main races. And if he's not careful, and he continues the same kind of pattern this year, he's going to end up losing the title again because Pecco is winning all the main races.
Yeah.
And Martin's smart because he still held a little bit at the end of the race. When Marc Marquez was attacking and closed him down to like 2/10 at one point, Martin still had enough left in the tank to be able to put a healthy gap between them, even though Marquez was pushing, even though Marquez himself had saved tyres to try and attack for third.
Yeah.
Martin had enough in the tank. But why has he got so much in the tank by the end of the race when it doesn't matter as much, when you should have used that fuel, and fuel as in just like what's left in the tank, not actual gasoline, but like, you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Why has he saved so much, that 20%, 10%, whatever it is, to the end of the race when he could use it mid-race to try and win? Brad Binder looked exceptional. Yeah. Couldn't battle for the victory, but he looked incredibly good. You know, that overtake on Martin down the front straight was very good. That KTM looked like an absolute rocket.
Missile.
It was so fast. Like, those Ducatis were like not stood still, but he was able to overtake them pretty easily. It was only when they got to braking and Martin was able to outbrake him, because I think on the graphic it said they showed like Martin and Binder braking into T1, and Binder was braking from 218 miles an hour, whereas Martin's braking from like 215, which shows, you know, Binder's got a bit more speed by the end of the time of their braking, but because Binder's having to brake harder and harsher to slow it down a bit more, Martin is not having to brake as hard. Obviously, it's only 3 miles an hour difference, but there is a tiny, minute thing that will gain Martin maybe half a meter on braking.
Yeah.
And that's the advantage where Binder then loses out, because it's almost as if his bike is too fast and then hindering him into braking, because he's having to brake harder to shed off enough speed that he hasn't been able to use to overtake Martin. So it's almost like a slight disadvantage, because he's not able to overtake Martin, but he's having to brake earlier and harder to make the same corner.
Yeah. And that's where it's possibly more about it's about the corner exit and getting the jump out of the corner. It's the time it takes for you to get to that 215 miles an hour, because Yamahas were also good on the speed traps, weren't they?
Yeah, they were.
But I mean, they're clearly not in the same league, and it's because of how it's everywhere, but the corner exit and getting the power down and being able to...
And their acceleration's poor as well. Yeah.
That's it. It's a sum of its parts, and that extra 3 miles an hour, like you say, it's got to be conducive to the next corner. You got to be able to take advantage of it, and they couldn't.
Yeah, they couldn't exactly
because of the stability of the Ducati being able to brake just as hard, just as late, but in probably a more controlled sense, so that they didn't need to push as hard just to keep Binder behind them, you know?
Yeah, because there's parts from the overhead shots, when you'd see Martin and Binder brake, and Martin would gain so much on braking compared to Binder. Yep. I mean, KTM are using their carbon frame now, which does help, and all the riders have basically praised it. They've finally stepped away from that steel trellis frame that they've used for years.
Yeah.
And the bike is a lot more stable in braking and obviously rides a lot better now. But it just seems like Ducati riders... Marquez has struggled a lot because you have to ride it quite smoothly. And obviously Marquez is probably the least smooth rider since Casey Stoner. Maybe even Blumin, what's his name? Gary McCoy, maybe, back in the day. You know, he's not smooth at all. And so he's having to adapt his bike and his riding style to that. And the Ducati just seems to be able to still brake later, but then Martin can use his ability as a rider of dragging his foot and shifting his body weight to try and shed as much speed as possible, whereas Binder can't do that as well. I don't even think Pecco could do it as well, to be honest. Martin looks exceptional on the brakes. But obviously we haven't got the access to the data to actually compare between the two.
No. Well, did I not hear at some point in the weekend that Marc is currently sort of the best on the brakes, whatever best means. I've talked about this before, but
I didn't hear that, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I feel like I heard that in passing from the TNT Sports lot. Probably Neil. I'm sure they said that Marc is the strongest braker right now, which doesn't surprise me because we know what he's like. I mean, he's had to stop that Honda for the last 10 years and keep it upright. So, yeah, it's interesting. And obviously, speaking of Marc, he did all right, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He did very, very well, Marc. I'm obviously very impressed.
Yeah.
I kind of... It sounds bad. Maybe expected a little bit more, which I know sounds ridiculous because he's done exceptionally well to finish fourth in his first MotoGP race on a bike he's still learning, a track he doesn't really like that much. And I can hear it, trust me, I can hear it. But I also...
It's Marc.
Yeah, and...
Yeah.
maybe I sound like an ungrateful kid or whatever, but I just maybe expected him to maybe at least get a podium in one of the events, but
yeah,
he's still learning the bike. He has to, try and manage to adapt his style still. He still says, like, he'll go around a corner and try and ride it like the Honda, and he's basically riding like the Honda still.
Yeah.
He'll go on a corner and accelerate when he shouldn't be accelerating and brake harder and do all this, that, the other that you shouldn't be doing, and it's just like unlearning the last 11 years, and I know that's difficult. I couldn't even begin to imagine how difficult that is. But I just felt like it was maybe a little... It's where we expected it to be, and where we expected him to be.
Yeah. I'm certainly not
can't complain about
that. I'm not thinking, oh, he's done.
No way. If anything, he's just beginning.
I feel like he's definitely got a race win in him.
Absolutely.
Multiple wins.
Yes.
Likely. Might have to be the right track, and it probably will be later in the year as well.
Kota, Sachsenring.
Yeah, by the time he's really, gelling with the bike, so to speak, and him and Frankie have had plenty of races to figure the settings out and everything. I mean, ultimately, he was still the fastest GP23.
Yes, he was.
By like a good amount. I know he was only just ahead of his brother in the sprint race, but in the main race, he was a good, chunk ahead of him as well. He was also ahead of Enea.
Oh, yeah, exactly, yeah.
Got to give the credit where it's due. Hell of a performance still, regardless. But I know what you mean, where like we just kind of wanted that, and it would have been really great. It would have been really poetic, like, considering his grandfather and everything. Like, it would have been like amazing to see him at least on the podium or have something to like dedicate to him, so to speak. But yeah, if anyone was capable, it was Marc. But hey, I think it just shows how bloody fast
Bagnaia
is. And Brad. Let's also like Brad. Where was the next KTM? Pedro
in ninth, eighth. Was it eighth or ninth?
Ninth in the main race, I think.
Yeah. Just exceptional, by the way, for a
yes. Yeah, ninth, we'll get to that.
Yeah, we will.
But I mean, Binder is on another level compared to the other KTM guys. It really is. To be able to, chase down Pecco, didn't quite get him, but he certainly kept him honest, so to speak, whatever that really means. But hell of a ride from Binder. I don't know. I could talk about Binder for ages. I fancy him.
He's amazing. I love Binder. He's sensational.
He's entertaining as well. He's just great to have in the paddock.
He's just a nice guy as well, isn't he?
Yeah. I think out of like all the riders, he's definitely one that I would like to meet the most.
Yeah.
I feel like he'd be a laugh. But that's getting off topic.
No, I think he would be a laugh, to be honest.
You all right? Am I keeping you here? I can see you typing
something. No, I'm just
something.
trying to upload this blooming podcast from last week.
Okay. Episode 125 is getting uploaded.
Yeah, I'm literally typing out the thing right now.
Oh, God, we are good at this. We are good at this. Why don't we have a sponsor yet, honestly?
Oh, yeah, no, crazy. I wonder why. It's so strange.
Oh, dear.
But no, I am literally uploading the last week's podcast right now.
Where... Yes, you will definitely hear us talk a whole lot of nonsense.
Smack and go, you're a bunch of idiots.
Yeah. How could you think that Marquez would win?
Yeah, that's ridiculous to think about, because hindsight doesn't exist, does it?
No, exactly. No. Who else did all right? Zarco did all right.
So, going back to his actual podcast. So,
yeah.
Binder deserves a massive shout out, of course.
Yeah.
But
he's going to win the title, He's going to get second in every race and win the title.
Yeah, it's possible.
He's going to do a Mir.
Literally.
But without a win.
Yeah, well, was it? Emilio Alzamora did it in 1999, 125 world champion.
I'd say we're overdue.
Without a single win. So 99 or 98.
Yeah.
Emilio Alzamora. Let's have a look because I'm going to check that. Yeah, it's 1999.
I mean, tell me a track where Binder won't come second or couldn't come second. I don't know what my words were there.
I don't know.
Everywhere. Binder's capable of second everywhere.
He's capable of first everywhere.
He is capable of, but yeah. Sadly, so is Pecco.
That is true.
So yeah, like honestly, Brad could get the title here.
I would love to see Brad Binder get the title.
Calling it now. Consistency.
It's been one race, Cameron.
Listen. I'll go back to my point. Tell me where he can't come second. Everywhere.
True.
He'll be second everywhere.
Well,
so, yeah.
True. Well, from one KTM rider to a gas rider, we've got to talk about Pedro Acosta.
Who? Oh, you mean the overhyped youngster?
Yeah, overrated.
Yeah,
no,
the overrated kid who's got all that pressure on him.
Who just does not seem to care at all.
He is ridiculous. I mean, the writer said
Marc Marquez.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, briefly, still did it.
Though. Yeah. He did burn a tire out, but what can you expect from a rookie?
That's what I said. When we were chatting, I was like, if the only thing that would have outed Pedro as a rookie this weekend was the fact that he didn't have the tire management skills, then that is fine.
Can I just say, Neil Hodgson called it to an absolute T on TNT Sports because he said about 20 laps into about 20 laps into the race, 20 laps to go of the race, so 1 lap into the race. He said, you got to be careful because if you burn your tyre at this track, by about laps 6 to 7 to go, it will drop out from underneath you and you will have no grip. And that was the exact time Pedro Acosta's tyre went out.
Yep, that's when it happened.
And I was like, fair play.
Fair play to Neil.
Ninth place though, still. I'm battling for 4th at one point.
Yeah. I mean, I thought he was gonna have Martin at one point, but that's when the tire went, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
God, it was hugely impressive. His whole weekend was just straight in FP1. How did he do in FP1? Pretty sure he was top 10 every session.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, and the sprint he was very good as well.
Yes,
sprint pretty much
8th
every race. So look, FP1. So FP1, which was one of the weird sessions. Oh no, FP1. I can't even find him. Where am I? Oh, he's 3rd. That's why.
Oh,
sorry,
cool.
I scrolled down too far. FP2 3rd. Practice 6th. Q1. Wasn't there. Q2 8th. Sprint race 8th. Main race warm up 9th. And then the main race 9th again.
I mean...
Oh, wait, warm-up 5th, sorry.
How did the other KTMs do? Jack binned it. Augusto is crying in a corner somewhere.
Apparently.
Unfortunately. It's a shame. I like Augusto. But
I do as well.
He's been absolutely...
demolished.
He's just getting it handed to him right now in that team, unfortunately. And I know that sure, he's on a European bike and it's got full factory support, the gas now, so he's basically on a factory KTM. He is on the bike you would want to be on if it wasn't a Ducati, I would say.
Yeah, next best bike would be a KTM, I think.
I think so. Maybe Aprilia, but
there's a toss-up between them two, but
yeah,
KTM's more consistent, I think.
I think so, yeah. I think... if he was on a Honda or a Yamaha, he wouldn't have been top 10 in these sessions, but he wouldn't have been the slowest out of those bikes.
No, he wouldn't.
Yamaha's maybe arguable because, well, it would either be Rins or Quartararo as his teammate. So, but yeah, mad impressive. Kid, I said before, in fact, it might even be in the podcast you're uploading right now. I can't remember. I said I don't think he's got a race win in him this year. I think he's got a sprint win in him.
Yeah, he's got a podium in him.
Oh, definitely.
If he can manage the tyres.
Yeah. And that's why I say sprint. When there's less for him to think about and he just needs to focus on being Pedro.
Fast.
Fast. I think he's got a sprint win in him. If Alex Marquez does, or did last year, then I think Pedro Acosta does.
Oh, yeah.
No offense, Alex.
No. Did you see his quote after the race? To motorsport.com.
I think
he said, "The fight with Marc lasted as long as it had to. It's like when you lose your virginity, everything is very beautiful and ends up being a disaster." The full quote, he says, "Everything's very beautiful at the start and ends up being a disaster."
Absolutely. I mean...
He's just funny, isn't he?
Listen, yeah.
Like, that's the most Pedro Acosta quote I think I've ever heard.
I'm getting that tattooed on me, to be honest.
Yeah.
So funny.
He's just a character, isn't he?
It's exactly what the sport needed as well, and we've said this. We need characters that will just like say daft shit like this and just not be too serious. Like, it's all well and good having these calculated characters like Pecco or Morbidelli and that do their talking on the track sort of thing, but it's the talking off the track that helps just the atmosphere coming into the races and everything. It's like, let's see what this lanky teenager that's
19-year-old kid
full of beans, let's see what he can do. And I mean, backed it up. Great. Love it. We need more of it. I don't know who's next in line to be this kind of
there won't be one for a while.
Fun kid, but yeah, I don't think there's going to be another Pedro for a while. That's for sure.
Well, though Pedro is like Marc Marquez. There wasn't a Marc Marquez for a long time until Pedro came along.
Agreed.
And then before Marc Marquez, it was Valentino Rossi. I mean, Casey Stoner, exceptional. Danny Pedrosa, Lorenzo, exceptional in their own right. But no one came into the sport with that kind of
X factor.
Yeah, that Marc Marquez came in 2013 and got a podium in his debut race. Obviously, Jorge Lorenzo got a podium in his debut. I'm almost certain.
Yeah, but it's the sum of its parts. It's more than just how fast they can go around the track.
It's the fact that Pedro did it as a rookie and then hopped into Moto2 and very nearly did the same thing again as a rookie.
If he didn't break his leg, then...
Yeah, and the Portimao test in pre-season, he set an all-time lap record.
Was it not by like half a second as well?
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah.
And then he goes and wins the championship in his second year in the class. It took him 3 seasons to join MotoGP.
Yeah.
And he took 2 world championships in the process.
Yes. It's rather impressive.
Bonkers.
Got to be a future champ.
You'd think so.
And I think by 2025, the KTM, I'm calling it, right? I think the KTM will be better than the Ducati next year.
Whoa, that is a big call.
I think they've it's nearly there. It's nearly there. If anything, the bike itself is maybe on par, but just the Pecco and Martin have just...
The talent ekes out, I think, because
I think yes, yeah. I think the raw speed of the riders ekes out, and also the bike is built for Pecco.
Pecco, yeah.
And I think once a KTM is built for Pedro in 2026, maybe 2025, then I think that's going to be lethal.
Yes.
Just in time for the rule changes where all of the aero, all of the ride height devices, everything gets scrapped, and then it's a Yamaha Honda championship again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But anyway.
Yeah, can't wait for that. But it's just very impressive, is basically what we're trying to say.
Nice and succinctly put there. Very impressive. Yeah.
Thanks.
He's generational talent, once a decade, Marquez-esque, Rossi-esque.
And we'll just have to wait and see, really.
Yeah. Next,
we don't want to continue bumming Pedro for a bit. People get annoyed about it, apparently.
Goodness me. He's already lost his virginity, apparently. So.
Yes, well done. Oh, God, the stories of Pedro. We're not going into them, but yeah, he's a bit of a madman. Anyway, Yeah, Zarco.
I mean, I was just going by the quote, but whatever.
Yeah, honest to God, some of the stuff. Jesus Christ. Anyway, Zarco on the Honda.
Yes.
P11.
Yep.
12.
That's solid.
That is very, very solid. He was the first second Japanese bike after Fabio Quartararo in 11th.
Come on, and it's the Honda as well.
Yeah, given that his fellow ex-Ducati rider teammate Luca Marini was 20th, miles behind everybody. The fact that him and Jack Miller were having a battle and Miller had crashed and remounted.
Yeah. Yeah, Zarco, I don't know. Like, to be honest, I'm not sure. I think I kind of expected it. I don't know why. I just had this feeling that he would just be able to make it work and go all right on that thing. Was he top Honda? Yeah.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah. Great. It's delivery. Delivery's got to be worth,
That's it.
0.6 of a second?
Oh, God, yeah.
Easy. Half a second a lap just on those Castrol colours alone.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd back that. But yeah, just a really good ride from Zarco. Really impressed by his ability to just hop on the Honda and be instantly fast.
Definitely. Like, considering, like you say, the Marini, another Ducati rider that's jumped over.
And he's nowhere
to be seen. Rather impressive.
He did say he had an issue in the race with the bike or something, but...
Who did?
Marini.
Don't care.
He put on Instagram something, but he was like, "Oh, I'm happy with the progress and things like that we're going to make," and he's believing in the project, basically. So that's positive, at least.
But then what about qualifying and the rest of the weekend?
True.
It wasn't a great showing, if I'm honest, but...
No, it wasn't fantastic. But...
No. Did you see that footage of when Bez and Pecco were standing with Marini, like looking at the
bike.
Honda?
Yeah.
I could only imagine what Bez and Pecco were saying. Probably
like, what the hell is that? Why is there gaffer tape on the...
Yeah. God. Yeah. Bez and Pecco just thinking.
Marini's like, "Oh, yeah, it's great. It's got this. Yeah.
You see those
Can't
wings?
wait to ride it. Oh."
Yeah.
He's like, look over his cat. He's like, "Oh, what have I done?"
Digi is just like...
Digi's laughing.
Good job.
Yep. Digi did well. 7th. He did have a weird crash in the sprint.
Oh, yeah. I thought it was weird because there wasn't great footage of the
onboard
the crash at all. Yeah, we had like the rear onboard of whoever it was, but
probably Bezecchi, I think.
No, can't have been.
I don't know. It was whoever was in front anyway.
I feel like Bez was kind of nowhere all weekend, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. He was what, 14th in the main race.
That's sad. Just going off topic slightly, when we were talking about in last week's / this week's podcast, we were talking about who would be the biggest disappointment this year. Nearly said Bez.
Did you?
Nearly said him. And I get Qatar is weird and like he'll probably be back on it at Portimao, but
yeah,
you know, I did think Bez, maybe, who knows, Marc Marquez to VR46 next year.
No. That is not happening.
No, that's not happening.
No.
Anyway, where were we? Yeah, Digi's crash. I thought it looked like it was a weird crash.
I think the rear came out and just chucked him off.
Yeah, definitely. And I thought he'd managed to somehow run over his own leg.
Yeah, because he got on his hands and knees afterwards. He was sliding across that track and I was terrified.
Yes, yeah, no,
I was like,
that was a scary
God.
moment. Thankfully, there was a lot of visibility for the riders and it was nice to spread out. Had it been first lap, that could have been very different. But
could have been awful.
Yeah, I mean, just glad he was able to race the next day and he's all fine. And put in a solid result as well. It was good.
Yeah, he did.
I did expect better because I did predict him for the podium, but there we are.
That's it. Yeah, but Bagnaia did well as well in 5th.
Yes, yeah, really happy to see that.
Again, I kind of expect a bit more from Bagnaia. If he wants to keep that seat, you got Jorge Martin 3rd.
Yeah. And Marquez is faster than him as well
on
last year's bike. Yeah, like that's it. It's like, oh yeah, fifth, solid result. If you're on the Ducati Lenovo team, you're expecting a 1-2, really.
Yeah,
You're
you are.
expecting podium every race. So, like, that's the target minimum.
Pecco's doing that, so it's not the bike.
Exactly. It's not the bike. And Martin's doing that.
Exactly.
So it's not the bike.
No, it's really not.
Obviously, it's been one race so far, one weekend. But
yeah, but even if you look at the tail end of last year and the whole of last year, really, the 1-2 in the championship last year was not of both Lenovo Ducatis. We all said at the start of last year, oh, it'll be between Enea and Bagnaia. No, it was Enea and Martin 1-2.
Yep. And it should have been. It should have been Enea and Bagnaia, but the cards didn't fall that way with the injury and everything. And I think, like, this year, if I'm honest, Bastianini's going to have to do better than fifth. And if he can't do better than fifth, he's got to make sure that he's not got a GP23 in front of him.
Yes, absolutely.
And he did both times this weekend. In the form of Marc Marquez. And maybe Alex as well.
Alex Alex as well was very good.
Yeah, he was actually solid, just overshadowed by his brother. Sadly,
he was hanging with him though, pretty much the whole race.
Yeah. Until he wasn't as close on the Sunday, was he? For most of it.
No, I mean it was Bastianini's 6th on the sprint, Marquez 5th. Marc Marquez 5th. Sorry, in the sprint, and then Alex was 7th. So both Marquezes are pretty close to one another. I did wonder if Alex would try and make an overtake on Marc.
I think, like, if it was on, then he would. But I don't think he wouldn't. He wouldn't be a dick about it, you know.
Would he? Because they live together as well. Like, is he like, oh, I'm gonna knock you off and make you homeless now? You've knocked me off. You're homeless. Find somewhere else to live.
Yeah, I think. He wouldn't be a dick. But if the move was on, the move would be on. And I think, like, I don't know if it would be the same the other way around. Like, Marc Marquez, like, Marc
would go for it.
Marc would go for it. And I think if Alex passed him, Marc would bite back maybe a bit harder than fast. Alex would bite back.
Like the battle at Portimao last year.
Yeah,
was it last year? Yeah.
Year before? Because Alex was on the LCR.
Was that it? God,
yeah, I think
time is flying by, isn't it?
Yeah, it would have been. Yeah. Are you looking it up right now?
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Because I'm really shocked that it's that long ago.
Yeah.
It was Alex on the LCR. Oh my God, where's time going?
Yeah. Where were we? Yeah, I think, like, out of the two of them, Marc would be the more aggressive towards the other. But, like, that's just is in his blood for some reason. It's the reason, one of the reasons that he's got so many titles. But
yeah.
He's also older, isn't he?
He is, and they made a very good point on, again, TNT Sports. The age Marquez is now, Rossi had already won his last title.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that.
I think it was like the most recent one was Mick Doohan, who had won a title after 31.
That's crazy. And the thing is, yeah, and that... You posted about the comparison of, like, a rookie coming in and racing with, like, an old legend when you know,
and someone else stole it afterwards.
Gosh, yeah, when Marquez showed up at Qatar in 2013, had shades of, like, because that was when Rossi came back to the Yamaha, wasn't it, as well? So even a bike, kind of a bike swap there too.
Yeah.
And it does, like, and Rossi did well. He nearly won a title a couple of years later. Many would argue that he should have, but whatever. Like
38, he was then.
Yeah, exactly. And the Yamaha at the time was the bike to be on as well, and Marc is now on the bike to be on. Granted, it's not built for him like the Yamaha was for Rossi. All that. Different tires as well. Was it Bridgestones in 2015?
They're on Bridgestones back then. Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Like, we're getting into the woods and we don't need to, but yeah, it does have shades of that sort of the dying embers of what was, like, a hella illustrious career.
Yeah.
Still think, like, Marquez, he could win a title, but God, there are some really young, fast, consistent people now.
Bagnaia, I think this is because Marquez has come in and done what he's done and really good on the Ducati so far. But the big thing for me during the race was the fact that Martin, despite Marquez saving tyre for the end, Martin was still able to eke out a gap in the last few laps of the race.
Yeah.
Which tells me, yes, obviously the 24's bike is better than 23. But the question I'm going to say, I know this is mental, is Martin got more talent? Like, is Marc Marquez not the most talented rider on that grid anymore?
It would be interesting to see what happened if you put Marc on a GP24. Or
yeah,
do you know? It's just there's just so many variables. That you can't distill it down to just pure talent.
Yeah,
like stick them all on Moto2 bikes if you want to do that. You know, it's and the same Moto2 bike at that, not Oscar Gurus and everything, but it's nah. I don't think so. I think. But then also at the same time, when Martin came into the class, he did all right in his first weekend in Qatar, didn't he? I think.
I can't remember. I know he won a race as a rookie.
Yeah. And why do I feel like Martin got a podium in his first weekend?
No, I don't think he did.
Oh, did he not?
No, I think I'll check.
When was his first year? 2020.
He did? Oh my god, you're right. Sorry.
Oh,
you are. There you
go.
Well, it was because it was 2021, but yeah, they had Qatar and then they had the Doha the week after. First one, 15th, and the second race he got third.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
Sure, like 2021 you said as well.
Yeah.
Okay, Marc Marquez wasn't there, whatever. But yeah, like if you're going to compare like being on a new bike...
track Martin goes well at. Whereas
true.
The track Marquez doesn't like.
Yeah, and again, that's another variable, and you're comparing apples to oranges, really. I don't know. I would still back Marquez as having that little extra something, but Martin is still a hell of a rider that can do things that others can't, particularly when it comes to one lap pace and just obliterating records.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
His pole at that time was mental.
Yeah, disgusting.
But speaking of older riders, though, Aleix Espargaro with that sprint podium as well.
What's he doing? He just shows up and he's like, I'm just going to go really fast today.
Yeah,
okay,
podium
cool.
today, cheers. Yeah. See you later.
Yeah, it's like, I just feel like, I don't know, just doing something crazy and getting a podium.
Crazy,
I don't know. Good to see though, and what do Aprilia call their bikes?
RSGP.
RSGP. The RSGP 24, I guess we'll call it.
Yeah.
Looks.
Both of them messed up their starts in the main race.
Yeah.
Vavrik and Aleix.
But even then, like Aleix throughout the race was still lapping slower than the leaders. The latest Aprilia does look good. And in some cases exceptional, but I think it's just got like a narrow window of where and how it is exceptional. Yeah. And if conditions slightly change or the track isn't quite right, then it's mid-pack again, unfortunately. It's still better than the Japanese bikes, but yeah, I think that's the thing with Ducati is that they work everywhere and are race winners everywhere. KTM kind of also have that consistency. They're like podium everywhere, basically. And then Aprilia is either, when it works, they can win a race convincingly, or they're just kind of languishing.
Yeah. Well,
it's on a knife edge. Okay.
Do you want to take a guess at who had the fastest lap of the race?
Pedro.
Yeah.
I knew it, because he just wasn't caring. He was riding that thing like it was qualifying lap every lap.
You go about KTM and Ducati being fast everywhere. Acosta was the fastest lap, and obviously was pushing it the whole way through the race. The second place of 1/100th of a second behind him was Francesco Bagnaia.
There you go. And he had no issues with tyres.
He was fine.
Yeah, absolutely fine.
It just shows how good Ducati is all around. The fastest bikes, though, first two were the factory KTMs. Brad Binder did 360 kilometers an hour in the sprint race.
Sheesh. That's terrifying.
It is. And then, so it's KTM, Ducati of Bassini, then Acosta, then it was Vinales, Bezzecchi, Aleix, Marquez. Bagnaia doesn't even come in until, what's that, 9th.
And this is the top speed track.
Yeah, top speed. Right. And Jorge Martin is 4th from bottom.
Well, that just goes to show you, doesn't it? It's not all about top speed. It's how you get there and how it's used.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild.
Yeah.
Maybe the Yamaha engineers were right.
Yeah, maybe they were. Crazy. But yeah, we'll move on to Moto 2, Moto 3, and we'll do our predictions. Because we're going to do our Portimao predictions now.
Yes, because I'm not here next week.
Yes. So Moto 2, firstly, Jake Dixon. With a horrendous crash.
Honestly.
That hurt to look at.
That was terrifying.
It was.
Guy's been to space. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Actually, space and back in the same day.
Exactly. Nasty crash. Glad he's okay. Like, nothing's broken, but shame he missed the weekend. But.
Yeah. It was nice of David Alonso to say this victory is for Jake Dixon as well on the part third.
I didn't call it.
Yeah, that was sweet. Good. Yeah, it was great Moto2 race. I really enjoyed it. Sergio Garcia was very impressive on the Boscoscuro as well, of course. Ogura did the same thing. It was very impressive. I think Ogura finished 4th. Yeah, 4th, which first time out on a Bosco. Very solid. Good. Ogura said the bike was pretty much the same as Calix at this point.
Well, there you go then. What's Furman's excuse then?
Mm-hmm. The fact is, though, Alonso Lopez won on the Boscoscuro.
Yep.
And Boscoscuro, 3 of the top 4, were all Boscos.
Really?
Yeah, which is wild. And I think it's the first time since like 2013 that Calix hasn't led the Constructors' Championship. I could be talking smack there. But I can't remember the last time a non-Calix won the opening round of the year.
Yeah. Is it...
I put a KTM, probably think about it. But
haven't some of them switched to WP suspension as well?
So every Pera brand bike is running WP. So the IO boys, the CF Motos, and the Gas bikes,
right,
will all be on. There's no Gas in this class.
No,
the Husqvarnas, sorry.
Oh yeah.
Husqvarna, CF Moto, and the IO will all be on WP suspension.
Okay, and how did they do, like, overall?
Vietti was 9th.
And that was our highest WP finisher, so to speak.
Yeah, it was, yeah.
Gosh, the Vietti from 2022 is long gone.
Yeah, he won this race 2 years ago.
By about 8 seconds or something.
Yeah, and he was 9th, and he was out of the points at like 17th at one point.
What's happened? And now he's on the IO.
He's on the bike that won the championship for the last 3 seasons now.
Yeah. Granted, different suspension, different tyres.
But
different tyres for everyone, so cross that one out. And it's still the IO bike. It's still the one that's supposed to be at the front.
The same team members. The thing is, you look at the teams, and yeah, it's the same bike. It's the same tyres. Blah, 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 blah. The teams make the difference. If you remember David Salvador when he came in on the Max Racing bike in 2022, and very nearly got a podium at Catalonia and did a great job. Very, very impressive. Then he hops on the CIP bike and he's nowhere to be seen last year. Yeah. Pretty much every rider that's on that CIP, for the most part, do struggle or have struggled in recent years. I mean, Riccardo Rossi was very good in 5th place over the weekend.
Yeah.
But the bike makes a difference, and hopping from that Fantic to the IO bike will have made a huge difference.
Yeah, and
he's 9th.
It was a similar story with Dixon going from Petronas to the gas bike. It was night and day.
Overnight,
Yeah, literally soon as he wore red, he was
on
fighting for the title, really. Go figure. Same or similar bikes, but different team makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Well, one rider who stayed with the same team for the last 3 years is Barry Baltus, who is on the 2023 Kalex, not even on the current bike, and he was second, and
narrowly.
The win was in the bag. He could have won that but I'd rather take a second than crash trying to win.
Oh, definitely. Well, maybe that's why you're sitting in your bedroom right now,
that's
racing
true.
Motorcycles. Yeah. Incredible stuff. I am sad that his helmet isn't just like the kind of Barry Sheen rep now. I'm sure there is still a story behind it.
Yeah, no, his helmet is still based on Barry Sheen's design, loosely.
It's just not as like...
Yeah, not as what it was when he made his debut in Moto3. Yeah.
Yeah. To the point where I was like, is that Barry? You know, when I was like watching him go around, I was like, oh. It's just, I don't know. It's not the helmet I was expecting. But great to see, though, because he's always shown little bits here and there being like, he's quick, you know, he is quick. And it worked this weekend for him. I'm dead pleased. Really great to see.
He deserves it.
I hope he manages to carry that momentum forward.
And hopefully this will get him into a team that will allow him to have, we say a team makes a difference, get him to a team that gives him the current bike minimum, and then he can be on the same level pegging as everybody else.
Yep. Hopefully. I mean, I feel like the Moto2 grid isn't crazy stacked, in my opinion. I feel like if you're really good, if you have a solid season, you're really hard to get into GP. But I think like if you have a really solid season on a B team, shall we say, I think that like you could find your way into one of the top tier teams fairly readily, like a Mark VDS or something.
Well, but Arenas did that, didn't he?
That is true.
Season, ended up in IO, didn't he?
Yeah, exactly. That's who knows? I think that could be on the cards for someone like Baltus, if it really shows like solid top fives, podiums throughout the year.
Yeah, well,
why not?
At the end of the day, if Furman is going to MotoGP, someone's got to replace him.
There it is, exactly.
Because you look at Moto2 grid now, and you're like, I don't really know who I put into MotoGP. Like, barring, obviously, it's the first race of the year, of course. But, like, I'm like, Arbolino, no, 20th. You look through and you're like, pretty much the only person is Furman, and even he was 16th.
Yeah. Wild. 16th.
Yeah. I don't
10th.
really know what happened with half of them. Arbolino, Furman, absolutely nowhere to be seen. Salach was 21st as well.
Well, he's not.
I was like, what the hell's going on here, man?
Damn.
So strange.
Yeah.
But a rider who had impressed me a lot was Ethan Guevara, because he had a horrendous season last year as a rookie. Barely scored any points.
Yeah.
He was way off constantly. Qualified 9th, which is exceptional in its own right.
Yes.
And was up to 4th in the main race.
Good innings.
Very early on. I think he then got pushed off track and had to retire at some point. But very, very good, massive progression forward, which I'm quite happy about. I wasn't impressed by Aaron Canet, because I was like, he might win the race here. And then he finished 10th, because again, the tyre drop-off, though, is ridiculous on the Pirellis.
These new Pirellis.
I think we never really saw that with Dunlop.
No.
And now we're seeing it dropping off, and they're having to manage those tyres, which helps for MotoGP when Pedro Acosta hops into MotoGP and is like, I can ride a tyre like this the whole race. And then it's like, no, you need to actually manage it, bro.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, actually. Maybe it will provide a bit more, like just another... let's say like checkbox that someone needs to have before they can graduate into MotoGP is like they've got to be able to manage the tire, because before, like I say with the Dunlops, you didn't have to manage it too much with Moto2. Like there's no traction control or anything, so there could be a lot of spinning up. It depends on the track and everything. You might have to do a bit, but it's not something you had to really bake into your strategy every weekend.
Yeah.
So it's yet another notch on the bar for getting into MotoGP, and it's probably a good thing. And obviously, Pirelli's their headlines are going to be, we're smashing the lap records, and, and maybe that's better for racing. For out and out racing, is we want to see the bikes go around the track as fast as they can, and it adds another element of the race, is the strategy that's involved, and the fact that the dynamic of a race could change after 15-20 laps.
Yeah,
it's just better for the spectator, so I'm all for it.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, me too. I mean, obviously we got to talk about the race winner, who I think ran out of fuel at the end and had to get a medical car back to the pits because
Classic.
He was just running around like a madman and then was unbelievably late for Parc Ferme. To the point where they rushed him in and just whacked him straight in the interview because he came in that late.
Class.
But a sensational ride from Alonso Lopez. Calculated, smart, held off Barry Baltus, and just rode the race of his life. I would love to think now that Alonso Lopez is back. I pray it's not a fluke, because he had a tough year last year.
He did.
And he deserves some success again. And I'm hoping that this is the confidence booster he needed to come back and be the Alonso Lopez that we know he can be.
Yeah. Did he not start okay last year, but then it just sort of dropped off, and then Furman took the reins. Took the reins, so to speak. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember though, to be fair, but yeah, obviously he had some crazy results. Just kind of came in out of nowhere and was like, bang, I'm here.
Yeah.
Winning races, and then it all went away. So
he got a bit cocky, I think, which is what his issue was. He got a bit too big for his boots. He got 5 podiums last year, which is amazing. But it was the fact that he just became too over-ambitious. It was Pedro versus him for Rookie of the Year back in 2022, and he just crashed at Valencia, and he'd crash making stupid mistakes because he was just pushing so hard and to the point where he was just desperate. Yeah. And making unforced errors out of just pure desperation. And I really hope over the winter, he's had time to sit down with a sports therapist and learn how to manage that kind of itch inside his body that he needs to scratch by pushing extra hard. No, actually just chill, wait it out, and things will let it come to you instead of just going out there and just absolutely crashing because you've been a nutcase.
Yeah, yep. I think it's a maturity thing as well. Hopefully that's kind of come back to him, and he's been humbled a little by the lack of results and things not quite going his way. So
yeah, I think so. But
yeah,
good race, great for the American racing team up in 6th and 7th.
Yep, nice result.
Fastest rookie was Dennis Onchu in 15th for the point on debut.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
more to come, I think. Onchu, we like him on a bigger bike.
Yeah, we do.
Just got to figure it out. Yeah.
Then moving to Moto 3. Daniel Olgado must be hating his life because he led most of that race to lose it by 0.041.
Gotta be gutted. Just played the last corner wrong.
Yeah, he did.
That was it.
He really did.
That was it.
I think the man of that race is Tayo Versato.
Yeah, some of the moves he was pulling. Legend.
Honestly,
couldn't believe what I was seeing. Long-time listeners of this podcast will know that I have been on Tayo's side
since the start,
ages.
really.
Since his Asia Talent Cup days, when he won everything.
Well, he won every race. Yeah,
I was like, come on, then.
And then we just debut in the Rebel Rookies and won that as well.
Yeah, and I was thinking, let's go, and it's clicking now. Again, the Honda still doesn't seem to be the bike to be on.
It's not, no.
But made it work. Led the race at one point. Got a podium. Looked confident and didn't look like he was riding outside of himself either. He just looked fast. So buzzing. I'm really buzzing for him. really.
He knows this track from the Asia Talent Cup days.
Yes, true.
And which will be confidence boosting. But then, it's his third year in the class now, so he'll know all the tracks.
Yeah.
And I really hope, because I've always said he was pushed into the main class too early. He was too young. He wasn't really ready. And they just chucked him into Moto3 without any experience in Junior GP. Just, here's half a season in the Red Bull Rookies, right, World Championship for you. Wasn't ready. But over time, he's made those steps forward and made those little steps forward. Now he's 18 years old, which is now the age limit of the class. And he's got 2 years experience on everybody else who's 18 years now. And it's showing. He's doing really well. He's a little pocket rocket, really.
Yeah, it was great. Super really impressive. Happy for him.
Especially with his teammate, who's 24 years old, was last.
Who's his teammate? Aji?
Tachikon Brasri.
Oh, sorry.
Aji's in Moto2 now.
Oh, he is. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, great. I just really hope it gets pulled through to the next rounds, really. Just keeps that momentum and the confidence.
I think he will,
Yeah.
Yeah, he was just superb. And it was sad to see Rueda and Ortola crash.
Yeah.
Because I do think both of them could have battled for the win. The fact that Ortola finished 9th after that crash is... I've said it many times,
stupid.
But so impressive.
Yep. I think he could have won.
Yeah, he fully had it in him to win. Rueda as well.
Yeah, also Rueda. The crash was no one's fault, really. It just kind of just went away, unfortunately. And Ortola was
Rueda has taken responsibility for it, which I respect.
Yeah, I do respect. I mean, I like taking responsibility. Sure, yes, he caused the crash, but like, it wasn't a silly move. I don't think. Yeah, it just sort of just went up the inside and was just had a little bit too much brake or too much angle or both, and bike went away and collected Ortola. Like that's just. It's one of those things that you like. Ortola could have mitigated by thinking he's not gonna keep this rubber side down. I'm gonna get out of the way of it. Sure, easier said than done. I'm not a racer, but hey, one of those things. But yeah, like I suppose technically it's Rueda's fault.
Yeah, it just happens though, doesn't it? These things happen in racing.
It do.
Not
a great start though. You don't want to be 0 points after round 1 when you're a title favourite.
Yeah, that's just you're playing catch up from there, aren't you?
Exactly.
Which is not ideal, but yeah, Moto3 was just great as always. Yeah, Riccardo Rossi impressed me a lot in 4th place. I've always said he's like talented. I think he's getting on a bit now for his age, but yeah, he looked really strong. I think if he's not in Moto2 next year, he's going to be one of those riders that's in Moto3 forever.
Yeah. John McPhee. Yep.
Yeah, and Colin Vire as well did superb.
Yeah.
In 5th place, was very impressed with that. And
I think Suzuki did all right.
Yeah. Just saying that. Yeah, Suzuki did pretty well.
Yeah, from swapping from the Honda to the KTM.
Yeah, but I've got to say, I think the most impressive ones for me were the rookies. Jacob Rulestone.
Oh, yeah.
In 10th is unbelievably good.
Yeah.
That's like next level. Did you hear about what he did as well? So he printed off his racing CV and went and handed it out to all the commentators so they'd all have some information about him and his racing career and stuff like that.
Yeah, I did hear about that. And then introduced himself. Here's my story. Great. Classy touch.
Yeah, he's a good guy, Jacob. Honestly, I really like him. Because I speak to him sometimes on the Instagram and he's just
the Instagram,
yeah. But he's a nice kid and yeah, he's just got time for people and stuff like that really does go a long way, I think.
Definitely. I mean, a good thing for a team to know is that you're not an arsehole and you're good to work with on a fundamental level. Like, if you got the speed as well, great, get them in. But it's also a great thing to know as a team boss. I wouldn't want some wee arsehole coming in my squad, but yeah, it's good to see and an incredible result. Like, could have a race win because I mean the thing is like with with Moto3, the difference between first and 10th, that can be one pack.
Oh God, yeah.
That you just happen to get. Yeah, like you might have just got unlucky and got with your track position and got shuffled to the back of the leading group, and then you're in 10th as you cross the line. So good stuff. Long may it continue.
Absolutely, and then we got Joel Esteban, another rookie in 11th, and then Angel Piqueras in 12th.
Yeah.
Which solid. I mean, I expected a bit more from Piqueras, but he's never been at Qatar before, so I think when we hit Portimao and Jerez and stuff, we'll see him kind of come out of his shell a bit, because his racing CV is, as we said in the last podcast, seriously impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Adrian Fernandez was another rider who impressed me. He did really well in some rounds last year, but yeah, well within podium contention this weekend, and I'd love to see more of it because, well, we know how fast his brother is, and Adrian been fast himself back in the Junior World Championship, winning races and things like that. So he's definitely got the talent to be at the front as well. And so, yeah, very impressed with him, to be honest.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and another guy I'm impressed with is Vicente Perez, who's replacing Xavi Zaratusza, who's not the age...
18.
Not the right age to be in the class yet. And again, Vicente Perez got unlucky and crashed out with Adrian Fernandez. But again, top 6 most of the race. For a replacement rider, that is very solid.
Yep, solid innings. We like to see it. It just, like, Moto3 was great. It was a brilliant first race. It was a great way to kick off the season. It really was. Well, if you're not counting the sprint. But Yeah, right. Shall we go on to these predictions? Ooh, for Portimao?
No, for Qatar, and then we'll do Portimao.
Oh,
we still have to go over the Qatar predictions.
Our predictions. I don't want to recap the predictions, if I'm honest.
Well, I'll read out the points. How about that instead? So in Moto3, the only person who got one right was Lauren, who predicted Alonso to get the win. So she got 25 points for that, and me and Cameron scored 0. In Moto2, myself and Cameron correctly predicted Canet to get pole. So we get 10 points each from that.
Oh, nice.
10 points each for that, sorry.
There's a new scoring system, by the way, listeners.
Yes.
We've not really been over this.
Oh, I did go through it last time, sorry, but I'll do it again.
I can't remember.
Yeah, so we get 12 points for the sprint, 16 for third place, 20 for second place, 25 for first, 10 points if you get pole. If you get all 3 podium places right, you get 75 points. And if you get all 4, including the sprint and pole, or obviously if it's not a sprint race, then just top podium and pole, you get 100 points. And there's no points awarded this year for just getting them right on the podium in the wrong position.
Yeah.
So you have to be spot on. And we were only right in Moto2 for the pole positions. No one got anything else in Moto2. And then in MotoGP, Cameron and Lauren correctly predicted Martin to get on pole position. And then I correctly predicted Martin to win the sprint race. So I get 12 points and you two got 10 for that. Then Lauren put Martin in third place. So she's up to 22 points now. No one got Binder in second and no one got Bagnaia in first.
Wow.
So leaving Qatar.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe what I'm about to say.
No.
It is Lauren.
No.
On a massive, I can't believe this, 47 points.
What? That's like more than she got last year.
Yeah. That is wild.
Okay, yeah.
I'm in second with 22.
Oh, and I've got 20.
And you got 20.
Oh my goodness. Do you know what? Lauren's doing a Pedro. And she'll burn out. She's going to drop off with 7 laps remaining.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
Right, I need to sort out these lemon ones. Because I've not even done this. Oh, I'm terrible, aren't I?
Not even done what?
Sorted out this Excel spreadsheet.
Oh.
But it'll take 2 seconds. Let you ready. It's nearly done. And it is ready.
Wow, let's go. Okay.
I haven't got any predictions from Lauren.
Oh.
because I completely forgot. But I'll just add them in next week on next week's podcast.
Yeah, you got a couple of weeks to hear from her, I suppose. Okay.
So, starting with pole position in Moto3, who are you going to go for?
Rueda.
Okay.
Is he racing? He's not like injured or anything, right?
No, it's fine, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Pole for me in Moto3, I'm going to go with... Tricky one. Because I'm not sure who is fastest there. Let's just have a look at who's got the actual lap record quick. I think it might be Holgado, you know. Let's have a look.
Taking it too seriously, mate.
Pole position is Sasaki.
Well,
okay.
Can't do that.
Well, I'm going to go with Holgado on pole. Screw it. He got pole in Qatar, so... And then third place, I'm going to go with Alonso. Who are you going to go for?
Third... Ortola.
Okay. Second place, I'm going to go Rueda. Who are you going to go for?
I'll have Alonso second.
Nice. Okay. And for the win, I've gone with Holgado.
As have I. Basically, revenge for this week.
Yeah. Right. So we're going to kick off for you now for Moto2. Please, pole position.
Moto2 pole. What about... Don't know whether to go with like something crazy just for a laugh. Do you know what I mean? Something you wouldn't expect. Like Joe Roberts.
Oh, okay. That is unexpected. I've gone with Canet.
Okay.
Third place, please.
I want to say Manu again.
Do it.
Go on,
like it.
Do it. You can do it.
Nice. Okay, I've gone with Salach.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Second place, please.
Canet.
Nice. I've gone with a Renas. And the winner, please.
Renas was good, wasn't he? Gosh. Let's have... I think Furman's going to be back.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've gone Canet.
Yes.
The delusion is back again.
Yep.
Right, MotoGP pole, gone for a safe one, Martin.
Yeah, that would be. But then, well, I'll say Pecco then.
Okay, nice.
He is rather good.
He is. Well, I've gone with a safe one again in the sprint of Martin. Marcus got pole last year, by the way.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Give me
with the lap record.
Oh, dearie me. Oh gosh. I want to keep it interesting, but also like if anything this weekend has shown us is it's almost business as usual.
Yeah.
Let's have Pecco again for the sprint win.
Okay, interesting. Right, now, I was delusional last time, not delusional this time. Third place, Marc Marquez. Just because he got pole last year. How about yourself?
Aleix.
Nice. Yeah, I'll take that. I don't have to put a Espargaro anymore because only one Espargaro on the grid.
Yeah, true.
Sad. Second place, Binder. Because, second everywhere.
That's literally what I was thinking. I was like, Can I picture anyone other than Binder in second? Yes, I can. Pecco in second, please.
Okay. Well, I've got Pecco to win. Safe, I know.
Okay.
Who have you got to win?
I'm going to say Marc to win.
Wow.
Let's do it. Like, why not? God's sake. I already
two
regret
out of two.
it.
You've put Marquez to win. On.
It'll land one time. Watch me not put him to win at Kota.
Literally, and then it'll happen.
Yeah.
You'll be like, why?
I'm already regretting that, but there we
are. Yeah. Well, it's Lauren leading at the moment, so she'll be chuffed with that.
That's fine. Let her have it.
Yeah.
This is it. It's like she's found herself. It's already.
She has.
This Thailand trip's already paid off in her predictions.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, she's loving life now.
Yes. I'm very jealous of the Instagram stories, but there we are.
Me too.
Yeah.
But
anything else, Dick?
I don't believe so. I believe that might be it.
That might be it.
Yeah.
Just in total. Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Well.
So, I hope you've enjoyed listening
to this podcast and the one before it.
Yeah. You have to do double banger now.
Yes.
Yeah. Consecutive podcast listens for those ones that really, really care about the show.
This one might not even get uploaded until God knows when. June?
God, like 2 weeks sometime. Yeah, June.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. But yes, I hope you enjoyed listening. We're back next time. Goodbye.
Bye.